Cheerio. Bonjour. So I'm going back to Darlie because none of the current murders really interest me. The Corey woman in Utah who murdered her husband with fentanyl. I'm trying to get into that. I sort of am interested in the Adelson case out of Florida because I believe the ex-wife Wendy should be arrested, and maybe I'll do a video to tell you why, because she's not a very good actress. And you don't have your brother kill someone and not know about it. Okay, Darlie. I will do a video, one or two, today and tomorrow, because on Wednesday, we're going to do our Whiskey Wednesday live. We're doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You know what? No, we'll do it at 7 p.m. I had many people from England say, oh, I love it, but I have no idea what time it is. I love you ladies, but don't you have a world clock? I've shown my world clock. I look up Moscow, Pyongyang, what's it called? The capital of North Korea. I look up Australia because my brother-in-law is from Australia. Well, shoot, I could just type. See, this is what annoys me because I love Brittany from the Royal News Network, but she just chit-chats so much. I love Lillian from Barbados, but I have to fast-forward 5 minutes because she's talking about her dog and her giveaways and stuff, and that doesn't do it for me. My world clock. Ready? London. Pyongyang? Is that how you say it? Moscow. Don't ask me why I have Moscow on there. Honolulu, because I'm always curious. Melbourne. That's my brother-in-law is from Melbourne. And then I recently added Jerusalem. I wonder why. And for those of you that are upset that my dog is barking right now, I cannot control that. I am not. I fully believe in freedom of speech. I don't feel the way Harry does. It's bonkers. So I made a few notes, and I want you guys to spend, today is Monday. If you're watching this tomorrow, it's Tuesday. But Wednesday I'm doing my live. And I really want you guys to sit here and take a day or two to think about it. Why hasn't Texas executed this woman? She's been on death row since 1990. 1990! And for those of you from Rio Linda, that's 32 years ago. Here's my family. So I'm going to play this, and then once I play this, the video, you know what? Just hang on. I'll be right back.
We'll get out of your way.
Well, but remember, I'm just learning to edit, so this may have been messed up. 1990. That's when she was convicted. She was smart. Do a speedy trial. It's in the Constitution. Fair and speedy trial. 1990. It's now 2023. Don't get your calculator out. And for those of you from Rio Lindo, that is 33 years. I believe the average woman on Texas death row spends 17 years. So, again, don't get your calculator out, but 17 plus 17 is 34. So she's, what the hell is this one little stupid piece of hair? She spent twice as much time as the average woman on death row. My issue, and I will bring this up again later, Texas isn't sure. Okay, watch this. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm sorry that this woman's right here. 1989, she still looked pretty good. Okay, watch this. I don't know that I would have the ability to do what Darlie did here. Okay.
Happy birthday, dear Devin. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, she's chewing gum. She's dressed like trash. Her husband is dressed like trash. I don't know who this person is. They're dressed like trash. This woman over here is wearing a dress. Good for you. This person behind Darlie is wearing jeans. So this was either noted in the invitation, this is a quite casual event, or these are just different people than most of us. There are, I don't want to pick. If you go to West Virginia, I'm sure there's people who will have chewing tobacco in during church. You know, you have different areas of the country and they react differently. However, she has pleasure on her face. The gum chewing makes me want to smack her, you know, reach in her mouth and pull the damn gum out. I don't believe that I could do this, but I'm not sure that I would have even created this event. My son died 8 days later, and I may be wrong. It may have been 5 days later, or 8 or 5 days previously prior to his birthday. I'm not sure that I would have had this event anyway. To me, there is not a single reason to ever put a balloon at a tombstone. You put flowers. Some people put stuffed animals. The military, they put coins. I do not know what they are. But if it's a penny, he died after serving. If it's a nickel, he died because of an injury in serving. The dime is something, I believe the quarter means he died in action. Those are different. I just, you know, I do visit my parents' graves on occasion, not as much as I would like. I've never brought freaking balloons. I mean, this is why people are, they really don't know what to think.
Love you, Devin and Damon.
Pain was not the focus Friday as family members celebrated at graveside what...
Oh, the gum! It's her mother. Did you not teach your daughter how to chew stinking gum? She looks like a cow.
been Devin's 7th birthday.
They're up in...
And the other parents who brought their children to this, what's wrong with them? To me, that's equally as creepy.
And they're up there having the biggest birthday party that we could ever imagine.
Darlie Routier, who suffered stab wounds in the attack, says she won't rest until her boy's killer is caught.
We don't know whether we're coming or going, you know? And he's free. He's free to do whatever he wants. But I know that he's not going to be free for long, and I feel it.
Meantime, the quiet town of Rowlett is also seeking closure in the violent murders of these 2 young lives.
This community is still trying to restore its neighborhood to some sense of normalcy. But without a suspect in custody, most feel their lives are anything but normal.
The community...
Okay, I only played that because I hoped that newscaster would walk past their home. The Routiers were all about gaudy. Okay, you guys know I love President Trump. He was the best thing to happen to our country. And for some of you, Trump may have hurt your feelings, but Biden is hurting your finances, your freedom, and your family. So get over your little hurt feelings. But these people were just as gaudy and tacky as Trump. If you've seen photos of his home in the Trump Tower, I mean, it's all gold and I can't think of the word. It's not ostasious. Someone tell me it. And I don't mean extravagant. I mean, it's tacky gross. That's the word I'm looking for. But that's how these people lived. Okay, I'll see you in just a moment. I'm going to digress for a minute. So you watch that. We'll get right back to it. How do you feel about the spring forward, fall back? Why the hell do we do this anyway? And I believe either the entire state of Arizona or there are a few counties in Arizona that don't even play that game. And what do you know? They manage every day. This daylight savings thing is crap. Ugly word, ugly word. Okay, back to her. I'm not sure that I would have, I already said this, would have had any kind of service that day. My child died, and I apologize that my numbers aren't exactly correct, 7 or 8 days ago. I believe I'd still be home with puffy eyes trying to figure out how to not kill myself. And I'm serious. I cannot imagine the pain of losing a child. My former husband, Rudolph, be quiet. You're making the viewers angry. My former husband, I've been married before. Been married twice before. Third time's a charm. My ex-husband's father died when my ex-husband was 15. His father was 39. His mother was still alive, and she lived, I believe, another 9 years or something. Can you even imagine? That's pain you're not supposed to see. You are never supposed to see your children die. Ever, ever. Okay. So, 33 years, 17 plus 7, right, 33 years now, this woman, has been on death row. Texas has still not executed her. I made a note, hold on. 10 years ago, actually, I may have just made that number up. A federal judge granted more DNA testing. And the state of Texas spent thousands, maybe tens of thousands, to deny that testing. Why? Why? If you have someone on death row because you believe they committed a crime, wouldn't you want to exonerate that person if they truly did not commit the crime? That troubles me a lot. I'm troubled that they haven't put her down yet, like she's a dog, but that they fought more DNA testing. You guys know there is still a fingerprint that to this day, right now, November, whatever the hell it is unidentified. Okay. Yeah, I struggle. Why would a random dude come in and kill the kids and then maim her? If you were truly there to rob the place, you take out the person that can hurt you worse. Hurt you worse first. And no, it's not Whiskey Wednesday today. She had all her gaudy jewelry. Okay, so I like silver better than gold. And she had a lot of tacky jewelry. This was a woman who wore 11 necklaces and stuff. Darlie was all about appearance. She wanted people to think she had the greatest life, the greatest boobs, the greatest house, the greatest husband. And on a side note, I've never found Darren very attractive. Never. Her little high school prom photo, I may make that my thumbnail. I think he's kind of goofy looking. However, so I can't even say that. I was just say, you meet someone and they become more attractive? No. Her mother worked at the Western Sizzlin', and Darren was the manager. Darren was the manager by age 18. He started as a busboy at 15. So he had enough, wherewithal? He wasn't stupid. So he went from 15 as a busboy to 17, maybe 18, as the general manager, not just an assistant or something. So Darren wasn't stupid. You guys know that they built this little computer chip company, and in 1987, that company had $500,000 of proceeds, earnings. So, hey Siri, what's $500,000 from 1989 in today's dollars?
1,989 minus $500,000 is minus $498,011.
Siri's about as stupid as my dumb toe. In 1989, and I have no idea, I'm making up. If you make $500,000 profit in 1989, now I'm not completely dumb when it comes to money. I was an analyst at Merrill Lynch for many, many years. My guess is probably about $2.5 million in today's dollars. And I mean, today's dollars. Are we talking Trump dollars or Biden dollars? Because, oh my goodness, everything's more expensive. We're funding all these wars. I need to shut up, right? they were making good money. And then things started becoming automated. You know, I'm against AI today. But companies were, Darlie and Darren would apparently sit on their couch. I look like I'm running a video game, but they would put these little pieces together. And then companies found a way where they did not need people to put those together. And Darlie and Darren were pretty much out of a job. And it happened very, very quickly. However, her excessive spending. They put that tacky ass fountain in the front of their yard. And that's tacky. I have many people on my route that have fountains. Only one that's really ugly. But none of them are right there. Here's something. If you go to Google Earth and look up their address, it's something Eagle Drive. I wish I'd have looked it up. Like 5219 Eagle Drive. I'll try to put it in my thing so you can look it up. The fountain's gone. Because, goodness. That's tacky. You're living on a quarter of an acre. You don't need that stupid ass fountain there. They were tacky. So now she's had 2 children. She has a 3rd. And now all of a sudden they're broke. Well, there is a real thing called postpartum depression. And I don't know that I've ever really told very many people this, but now I'm telling thousands. And if you hit like and subscribe, I can tell millions. I actually had postpartum depression, and it was bad. I mean, about 3 months. I was mean to my family. I was angry all the time. I lost 25 pounds. I mean, I had gotten down to about 85 pounds. I was ticked off. And that's all it was. It was simply So I'm 85 pounds with great big boobs, and I'm only a B cup anyway, but I had all that milk in them. Walking around ticked off, and some doctor, I believe he prescribed, Wellbutrin or something, 2-3 months, and I actually felt better. But it took me 5 months before I finally went to a doctor and said something's wrong. And it's just merely postpartum depression. Okay. If you watch the news reports in between the murder, the arrest and the trial, the media goes on and on. Well, Darlie really didn't want to be a mother. She wanted the praise for being a mother, but she didn't want to do the work. Who does that remind you of? Reminds me of 2 people right now, only one living. Shannon didn't want to be a mother. You don't put your kids to bed. You don't drug your kids up at 6:30 at night and stick them to bed if mothering is your priority. The kids aren't tired. You don't put the big room darkening curtains in so that your kids will sleep 12 and a half hours every night. The other one is Prince Harry's wife. I'll make this short. Prince Harry's wife is all about, my family is so important. Meanwhile, she hasn't spoken to her father since 2018, and Harry doesn't speak to his family anymore, so maybe family's not that important. But these 2 twits are out. They went to a Katy Perry concert last night. Where were the kids? Harry went to a Formula One race a week or 2 ago. He went to something else that would have been great. It may have been a soccer match. I believe they call it football. But he went to something else. That's where you bring your son to. You're going to a car race. You're going to a soccer match. You bring your kid. He didn't bring them. Hey, do you guys even think the kids are real? And, oh yeah, the name Lilibet, tacky. But Harry's wife believed if she married him, she would suddenly have class. Well, you don't get class by whom you date. You get class because it's inert or it's natural. Not very sure. Look how pretty the colors are behind me. It's not something I usually notice. We had a home in Wisconsin, right on Green Bay. We were standing at the very end of our dock one night, and my husband looked at me and he said, "Isn't that gorgeous?" And I'm looking out on the bay for a big barge or something. I'm like, what? And I said, I don't see anything. He was like, the sunset. I'm like, oh, okay. That's pretty. Yeah, my bad. I'm not a big nature person. Well, those are such pretty colors back there. See, I go on those tangents and then I've lost everything. I don't believe for a moment that Darlie didn't want to be a mother. Okay, I'm not really sure if she's guilty or not. The most important thing is the Lord knows, and she will be judged. And that's really all that really matters. She'll either spend her days very, very warm, maybe even hot, or she'll live her life in eternity on, streets paved with gold. So it's not ours to decide. It is the Lord. But I'm curious. Again, why hasn't Texas put her down yet? And I'm sorry to continue to use that term, but it's the only way. I know it. Okay. I believe she loved being a mother. I think she just was having postpartum depression. She was stressed out about money. They were not living the same lifestyle they had lived, a year prior for the previous 4 years. And that can be overwhelming. I mean, absolutely. So something else the prosecution states. The fibers found on the knife. Okay, well, so there's an issue I have. So I'm going both ways. That's why I want to do this Wednesday live. I want you guys to think about this. A knife from the home was taken to cut the screen out of the garage. We call it a garage. Those fibers, the fibers found on the knife were identical to the fibers found on the garage screen. Well, it turns out that little fingerprint brush that they used to find the fibers also has the identical fibers in it. That's what they use. That brush is made out of that screen fiber and a few other things. Wait, so that's not evidence. Hello? And yes, it bothers me. Why would someone break into a home and not have any weapons? And just hope that this family has a knife block right there. I don't have a knife block. Actually, under one of our cabinets, we have one of those magnets, and our knives stick up there. So what's the guy going to come in, murder us, or right before he murders us, search around for a knife? He's opening drawers. He's like, damn, these people have 3 junk drawers. Where's the knife drawer? I mean, so that troubles me. That does not make sense to me. Oscar is over here looking for love terribly. Okay, I have another thing to say, and then my last point. As of today, and today is November something, 2023, there is still a full fingerprint all the way. It's not a partial, nothing's broken, and it is unmatched. And still, as of today, November something, 2023, the state of Texas spends money to fight to have that fingerprint put into CODIS. I think that's what it's called. It's the whole universe, America, our identification system. If you get arrested, your fingerprints go in there. Okay, I was a financial analyst. I had to get fingerprinted for the NASD. My fingerprints are in there. I was arrested once. Got a no, not a DW. Drunk in public. DIP, I was a dip. They took my fingerprint. I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, it's been almost 30 years. Those, CODIS, my fingerprints are in there. My fingerprints were in there first, probably because I was a Series 7 licensed options trader. So even the good people and the bad people, they all go into that system. But however, even 2 years ago, Texas spent money to not have that fingerprint go into the system. Why? If, God forbid, you have an innocent person in your jail system or your prison system, wouldn't you want them released? So see, I go back and forth. That's why I want to do Whiskey Wednesday live about this. I would like to know what you guys think. I'm going to shut this down with this last point. So I guess Texas is very, very quick. The woman was convicted. The jury was out 7 hours. Death penalty trial, you're only out 7 hours. Wonder if someone was paid off. Sounds like John Gotti, the opposite way. She was convicted, and I believe, and I'm pretty accurate about this. It was around 4 or 5 o'clock. It was the very end of the day. Because for a moment, the judge considered waiting until the next day to deliver the verdict. By 9 o'clock that night, they were dropping her off at Gatesville. She had the little paper dress on, and she looks devastated. And, I mean, I can't even imagine. Oh, my goodness. You know what? When you go to bed tonight, pray you're never in that situation if she is innocent. I also believe that when people get in this situation, now, if we get to heaven, we are all treated equally. But I believe she'll get a little bit nicer bed or something. God has to do something to reward you for all the drama. By 7 o'clock that night, they had her in Gatesville. That's the death row thing. She got into Gatesville. The very first person who was allowed contact with her, which I find odd also, was Carla Faye Tucker. Was that her name? Carla Ray Tucker. She is a former prostitute who murdered a couple people with an axe. She killed a boyfriend's ex-girlfriend with an axe. However, she spent 10 years in prison. Maybe I'll do a video on her, and if you're interested, let me know and I'll do some research. Part of the reason, my father met her. He flew down. My dad was buddies. I think it was Billy Graham. My dad was BFFs with Billy Graham, and they both flew down to Texas. I believe Carla Faye, can't remember. She genuinely had remorse. She begged the Lord for forgiveness. And thank God I'm not the judge, but I believe she may be sitting up there right now. We make mistakes. It's admitting them and realizing who is the actual forgiver. And I honestly believe that she regretted everything she did. However, Carla walked right up to Darlie, was able to hug her, which I find odd. If you're on death row, the whole part of death row is you have no human interaction. Well, you have no physical interaction. So that's odd to me. But I watched an interview with Darlie from 3 or 4 years ago, and she gets up every morning and goes out to the garden to plant, and then she goes to her job for an hour and a half, and then she goes to the vegetable garden. So we don't really know what they're doing. And Darlie said that she doesn't know if she'd made it through that first night if not for Carla Faye. Why didn't I look that up first? I'm sorry. Okay, if you're still watching right now, I'm shocked. Oh my goodness, it's not even Whiskey Wednesday yet. I'm quite humbled. I truly am. I need to get more serious and get my sub count up. I'm around 4,000 or so. You guys spread the word. Get me to 5K. Get me to 5K by Christmas. Maybe that'll be my goal. But it's all on me. I need to do more work. But Wednesday, we will do a Whiskey Wednesday live, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will try to, in the next day, find some more things about Darlie that we don't know. I want to know how you feel. Is this woman being sacrificed? Is she guilty as hell? And my biggest thing is, Man, 33 years and they have not put her down yet. I think Texas isn't sure either. Okay, I'll say it again. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'm shocked you're watching. Hey, God bless you and your families. And oh my goodness, God bless this America. So look at that. It didn't stop. I have to use the button. I'll give it to you again.